Hey, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Wherever you are, whoever you are, welcome to Just Stop It. I'm your host, the Grand Queen, coming at you tonight. Glad to have you aboard. All those who are passing through, all those who are watching and listening tonight, welcome to Just Stop It, where we challenge and advocate good mental health. Listen, and we also bring the awareness to our community leaders and all everyone possible, whoever and wherever you are. We are changing the narrative on how mental health is communicated in the media, in the communities, locally and abroad. So again, we're glad you're here with us tonight. And we've got our hotspot to the show tonight. Our oh so opulent, the opulent one, Shannon Grace Chappelle, in the house
Hey,
tonight.
how are y'all? Hey,
We are good. We are good. Absolutely glad to
wonderful.
see you.
Glad to see you too.
Absolutely glad to be seen.
I know.
That means something. Sometimes,
Yes.
you need to be with somebody so they can make sure
Oh,
you all
yeah.
right. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we have our media producer in the house, the Trayvon Gray, our
Hey
one and
everybody.
only,
Hey,
the
what's up?
Wiz.
Hey, Trevon.
What's up? What's good?
Yes, our media producer, the Wiz in the house. Yes. And we have Reverend Kenneth Carter
Clark.
Clark. Exactly, our
Yes,
Oh,
Reverend Kenneth
indeed.
Clark from the Breath
Yes,
of
all right,
Life.
Kenneth.
From the
yes.
Breath of Life Ministries.
What's up,
There's
Kenny?
there's
Hey,
he's
Reverend.
he's doing a phenomenal. He has a phenomenal mission, and he's here with us tonight to share and shed some light and drop some golden nuggets on us tonight on accountability of the Black Superman and the Black Superwoman. This
Mm,
is this is serious. We all, from little kids, we believe we were Superman and Superwoman. We thought
yeah.
about it. We thought about it,
I feel
because
that.
we
Okay.
had so many superheroes, and we were like, okay, I'm going to be a black supergirl. I'm going to be a black superhero, a black
That part.
superboy, Superman. And, ain't nothing wrong with that because, people change the world. So, yeah, we have superheroes. However, we're talking about the myths behind it, the accountability. We've been putting it down about accountability. Are we accountable
Mm,
for certain things? Has it changed? Do people have the mindset for
Mm.
change in this society? And it's Black History
mm,
Month. It's still Black History Month, and it don't stop. The song said, and it
Won't
don't
stop.
stop.
Hey, it won't stop.
It won't
yeah.
stop. So it's always the blackness don't change. You don't go to bed one night and wake up, you ain't black no more. So the blackness don't change and it don't
No.
stop. So the good news, the good thing about that is we have the opportunity to change it, not just during the month of February, all year round. Just like,
Mhm.
we can make it like Christmas all year round and help people to change their mindset, to get through it, get with it, and get to it. And before we move further, just a friendly reminder, our friendly disclaimer: the information in our podcasts and our videos are not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content, including text, graphics, images, information contained in the video, is general information and for general information purposes, and does not replace consultation with your own doctor or medical professional. Right? So please, we always admonish
Yes.
you, we always advise you to please seek professional advice along with what is being shared with you, because a combination of things is it's always good to have a combination of strategies for concerning your well-being, your mental health, and that's how you get to it, get through it, and get with it. I'm just
That
saying.
part.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
here we are. So we got a challenge again, the accountability. And also, let me just pop this in there. This little quote: "Don't pray for easy lives. Pray for stronger men. Do not pray for tasks equal to your powers. Pray for powers equal to your tasks." then the doing of your work shall no shall be no miracle, because you will be a miracle. So lining
That
it
part.
up, power
Sound
is
good.
equal to your task. Actually, power is equal to your task, not the task equal to your powers. Power is
Mhm.
equal to your task. Create miracles, and that miracle is always birthed in us. Yes,
Mhm.
now that right there is an apple,
I wanted to
and
say hey to my
we
friend Christian real quick. Hey
oh,
Christian, I
thank you,
see that you in
Christian.
Hey,
here. She
Kristen.
commented. Just want to let
Absolutely.
you know that we see you. That's all.
Thank you,
Go ahead,
Christian.
Thank you for
Professor.
Thank you
coming.
for following us also. Thank you for following us on YouTube. And we appreciate you for that. Thank you
We
so
do.
much for following us on YouTube. We love you for that. And we're glad you
Mhm.
made
Thank
it.
you. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. And you
Yep.
will continue to make it along the way by the good graces of God. From your feet up, from grass to grace. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Right? So here we are.
Mhm.
The struggle is real. We know the struggle is real. At the same time, we want to move past from surviving to thriving. The Superman and the Superwoman theory fuels us a cycle of stress and unattainable goals. Time to shift and focus on emotional wealth. So here we are,
Mhm.
partner. We want to partner, actually get the mindset, and then we'll be able to partner with local organizations for tailored support for African American families. This is about individuals and families learning how
Mhm.
to live, learning how to power up with things that equal our task. The conversation around that Superman and Superwoman theory challenges us to embrace our vulnerability. We get tired and we get stressed
Mhm.
as a people, as a person. Sometimes we feel like probably giving up. Sometimes maybe we feel like, listen, what's the way? What's the way out? What's the way through? What's the way in? It's like a door
Hmm.
and a window. Doors and
Mhm.
windows are exits and entrances. We just got to figure out what direction we need those things to go in. We got to pave the way. We got to break the cycle and break the what's the cycle is the mindset for change, the mindset that equals up to the things that we need to do and be accountable in this life and change what we need to change concerning our emotional wealth, which is attached to our mental health.
Mhm.
What you guys say about that accountability? How do we change it? How do we change that theory from surviving to thriving as superwomen and supermen? And is that true?
Well, with Kenneth being the person
Superwoman
to
and Superman. Is that true? I mean,
with Kenneth being the
and think
person
of the
to
two things: stress and unattainable goals.
Mhm.
All right,
with Kenneth being the person that is sliding in with us and joining us tonight, I'd like you to answer that first, if you don't mind, Kenny.
absolutely.
Uh, I think it's a combination of both. Part of it is true, and then part of it is not true. The reason why I say part of it is true is because a lot of us have worked. A lot of us have put ourselves into that position of being the Superman, being that Superwoman. We just go about doing any and everything, right? Um, But now that we are now coming into consciousness now, a lot of us now are taking the time to do some evaluation,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
now realizing that, we have to create a balance and we have to create a different type of structure, you know, um, because we do try to be that, I'm be that Superman, I'm be that
Mhm.
Superwoman,
I feel that.
you know,
Mhm.
and then life be life, and then life catch up right with you, and it's like,
Wow,
uh-uh.
wow.
Now what?
Mhm.
Yeah. Now what?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I get you.
Life be life and life be life and wow, wow. That's a
What
lot of
about you,
pressure.
mommy? What you think, mama?
Oh, oh my gosh. I think sometimes we're caught up in it, you know, just trying to get along, to be getting along, like yeah, Kenneth said, because we have to. And we don't have some of us, we're making best with what we have. We're trying to take care of families, sometimes on little to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You've got a lot of people that are doing it alone. So you say like the single mother with her
Yeah.
children or her child, and it's like, we are very conscious, like Kenneth has said, that we do need to find a break in all of that, or equal balance. But
I feel you.
I don't think it is as easy as we think it is when we're in it,
I
because
Oh,
feel you.
I mean, to me, we're in a mindset of get out there and make as much money as you can make.
Hmm.
um, do whatever you have to do to get the money. Sometimes that money, for example, isn't enough. You can't make it stretch no further than what it is. So
Right.
yeah.
when we don't have certain things, or it's not flowing to us on a regular, then that causes stressful situations too, especially when you have other people that you are responsible for. Um,
Understood.
I do think that people tend to take on too much. I had
Yeah.
mentioned in another podcast that you can't be everywhere, you can't do everything, you can't be everything to everybody. You can't be that superwoman or that superman, because you
Yeah.
wear yourself out very thin by doing that all the time. Um, people are not, to me, people are not is understanding, or is kind or empathetic or anything like they used to be anymore. So it's kind of like, you're pushing and you're shoving each other to try to get something. um
Exactly.
it's just a lot. It's a lot, and that's just a small thing. That's a very small thing. I would definitely say, uh for me personally, I have had a lot of help. When Trayvon was born, if it wasn't for my mother and my family, I don't know where I would have been with a child. But still, there was that factor of you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go.
I
And
feel that.
even, taking him to school. This is just an example. Taking him to school because he has to get to school with 103 fever, 102 fever.
Yeah. Wow.
Because no one else was there to assist,
Hey,
even
Slicky,
though
I see you.
people live their lives. So it's hard. It's hard. Um,
Yeah.
Trying to figure that out is hard, but you got to do something, because again, you wear yourself down to nothing. And I think
Understood.
that's just one area that we can try to reevaluate and do better in, just for our mental sake and our physical health and everything else. So that's my
Exactly.
take on it. Yes, ma'am.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Hmm.
And what you say, Trey?
I don't think there's anything wrong with being um a Superman or Superwoman because we need them. We do have
Hmm.
a few. There are people that go above and beyond and become things like the president and other things that you just don't know nothing of what you see. Half of
Hmm.
your
Right.
career is a secret that you can't that you can't tell us, for instance. So there are a lot of people that are in positions that they are those superwomen and supermen, but we give acknowledgement and encouragement and support to those people, and it
Hmm.
will encourage and breed more super women and men. So I
Hmm.
think that I think if we positively encourage that, then I don't think there's a wrong with being that if you are able to take that on. But taking on too much and burning out is one thing. So if you're not able
Hmm.
to manage those things, Superman's not worried about getting tired. So so
True.
if
Yeah.
you just what I mean. So if he's if you yourself is somebody that are you're taking on that role, just make sure that you carrying the weight as you should. I mean, I don't really,
But what, Trayvon, about that? I have met a lot of individuals, in my time, in the government, and really talk to them personally. And it's very strange how they were the head of everything. They had this position. They were doing this. They were doing that. And I understand striving as hard as you need to get where you need to go. Um,
understood.
However, when talking to them personally, not all of them, but just my experience, they wanted what I had. They wanted the simplicity of life, not having that stress. They even admired and wanted to have a family. And I remember, I still laugh about this a little bit. One guy that I was in there shuffling papers around late one night doing something in the office, and he said, "You know what? I want a wife. I want a family one day." I said, "Well, you're not gonna find out in here shuffling papers around with me
You
ten
right there.
o'clock at night."
Right there.
You know what I'm saying? So the point I was, that was a joking way to say it
The
to
office
him.
wife.
Well, I said, "You
Both
in
of
here
y'all was
stabling,
working hard.
you in here stabling papers with me." But what I was trying to say in a comical way to him is, yes, you're doing all these things. You have the money. I know I processed your paperwork for it. I know what's going on, but then you can't slow down enough or try to figure out that balance to be able to meet someone to one day have a relationship, or eventually get married and have children or whatever you want to do, because he didn't find that balance. He was in there in that office. I came back and I got something on a Sunday that I left on my desk, and I remember he opened the door and we scared each other to death. You in here on Sunday? I'm just getting something off my desk. What are
Right.
you doing? So he was, so in that example, he was being too much of a Superman and not getting that regular stuff that he needs for his mental health and what he really desired in life at this point in his life, which was that family and that girlfriend, or that wife eventually, or going on that trip, or any of that type of stuff. So where do you slow down is the question.
Well, I feel like superheroes are
Mm-hmm.
don't. I feel like superheroes give that up. I feel like most superheroes that
Mm-hmm.
I see give up the normal lifestyle.
But
Most of them are
sometimes
in the
not
shadows, and
intentionally. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just feel like they. If I
That's
was, I
a.
feel I don't know. It depends on people's definition of Superman, super. I just feel like you would sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
and give up those things because you're living a life that everybody just can't live. I feel like, you know,
Yeah, everybody can't do it.
Yeah,
Everybody
understood.
can't.
yeah,
Everybody can't
yeah.
give those things up. But I just, I'll say this and then I'll land again. You know, deep down, some of these people that in my experience, wanted the simple things. But when you are that much of wearing yourself out, right? Get what you want. Get what you need to get. Work hard to get whatever you need to get. You go to college. That's not a time to play. For example, right?
Right.
You got things you have to do. This is the real
Yeah,
world. But there has
exactly.
to be some time in there where you can sit down and have a soda with somebody or something. It can't just be all of that. And having that, happy medium is just so important. Or you just gonna see you might miss out on stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
Understood.
Scheduling.
Yeah.
Silent. I like that. What we're saying too about silent achievers, because sometimes our superheroes, our super heroes are silent achievers. They have a lot
Mm-hmm.
under their belt, and of some things, as Trey Wiz said, they haven't even mentioned, but it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we need they need to have tailored support and
Yes.
resources. Um, yeah, DJ, teach us how to
Mm-hmm.
fly. I love that because that was in my mind just before he said it.
Yeah.
Because I said that to my children the other day. I said to them some information one of my sons shared with me, and I was like, wow, it was just like I hit the lotto in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
because, and I said to him, I said, I thanked him for being my child, and I thanked
Mm-hmm.
him for teaching me how to fly. No, I thanked him for
Yeah.
teaching me how to fish. But
Mm-hmm.
again, teaching somebody how to fly, teaching somebody how to fish, meaning teaching them how to be that example of taking on something with tailored support and then making it their own. So many
Mm-hmm.
times, silent achievers, heroes, they need support to match up. They need stuff to match up to their task. tools, resources, strategies to match up to their task. Well, as I mentioned earlier, actually powers, should I say, powers equal to their tasks, and tools to really make those powers, go in all directions. Um, and it's crucial to we can be super. So it sounds like we can be sheroes and heroes. It happens, and especially in this day and time, we don't want to be working for everybody. We don't want to be working for anybody for the rest of our live long
Uh-huh.
years, live long days. So that's what makes us sheroes and heroes, because we begin to do things silently and achieving it with the tailored support. However, the focus is to shift the focus to emotional wealth. Breath of Life, Reverend Dr. Kenny. What do we all say about the shift? How do we shift the mindset to emotional wealth? Since we know this is the era and the time that we're living in, and we're learning how to fish, we're learning how to fly, we're learning how to move from grass to grace, and in those graces, you know, how do we shift things into shift gears, and the accountability uh, towards being accountable towards emotional wealth, because when you're trying to work those two or three jobs, and or and or two or three jobs, um, you're like, wow. And then babysitting, and now you have the elements of two parents working, because now you have single dads, you have single moms, you have different household compositions. So the bottom line sounds like is one of the keys is emotional wealth. How do we shift the mindset towards accountability and the emotional mindset, emotional wealth?
Well, the first thing to any issue like this is coming into awareness. Once you come into awareness, is they say it all the time in NA and AA, is the first part to recovery is acknowledging, what's troubling you, or not just what's troubling you, but understanding the why behind the cause and the effect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you first must have to look at, because all of us have a tolerance level.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at what it is that tolerance level is going to be contingent to that push of that breaking moment. So it's certain things where emotionally that's going to either push you to the edge or not push you to the edge. So it really becomes now you developing some type of game plan, execution to be able to navigate that emotional wealth. You know what I'm saying? So whether it be that emotional wealth could be, like for me, I'm a very individual guy. I'm an activist. I'm a clergy. Sometimes I'm on call 24/7. Maybe somebody may need prayer. It may, living that life of an activist it can be very hectic and chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
however, you
Uh-huh.
know, I have managed to say no. I get an hour. You know what I'm saying? I get an hour for myself, and that hour for myself is going to be just me, um, you know, either doing yoga or doing something that's going to put my mind in a meditation mode. During that whole hour, nothing is going to get addressed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to think about it. If Jesus fasted 40 days, I ain't trying to be spiritual, but I got to go here. If he
Go
fasted
ahead.
40 days, he fasted 40 days and 40 nights. You do realize that he had to be aside in a set. You get what I'm saying? And it was probably a
Uh-huh.
whole lot of stuff going on. But he took that 40 days and fasted them 40 days and 40 nights and was intimate. You know what I'm saying? He was intimate with God. He was intimate with the Father. So it's like the same way that we have to be. Yes, we have a lot of important things, mothers, fathers, all of us have different, responsibilities, different obligations, but we have to designate that specific time. And sometimes designating that specific time may be in certain quadrants of moderation. Some people may not have an hour to give every day of the week, right? But if
Uh-huh.
they say, hey, it's 7 days in a week, I'm going to at least take you know 2 hours out of the whole week, and this is what this is going to be. Then that's what that has to be, and that comes from discipline. Like
Yeah.
I can't, I have to be able to have this, whatever it is that, that we do. Some people may go walking. Mine's is sitting by the water. I like yoga. Those are just a few of the things that is. Some people may like to read. Some people
Uh-huh.
may like to just, listen to classical music, whatever it is. But whatever it is, we have to commit to that so that way we can get that emotional wealth and have that balance.
Uh-huh.
Very true.
I
Good
agree.
answer.
Exactly.
Good
Exactly.
answer.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Strategies, scheduling, discipline. Those three. That part.
Uh-huh.
Those three. That will change the mindset and focus and accountability towards emotional wealth. Because many
Uh-huh.
times that part is not a part of our equation. When we planning, scheduling, and things like that, it's not a part of our support system. Once that's implemented, I believe that the Shiro effect, the hero effect will kick in.
Uh-huh.
Balance, and that effect is balance, as Kenny said, balance. So we all know we need balance, right? So
Uh-huh.
I love that. I love that. I had a couple of more. I got one more question.
Okay.
Oh, I'm telling you, this right here is going to take us into a good week. For those who probably thinking about, probably figured out by now that they are a hero. They are a hero.
Uh-huh.
Whether they have children or whether they don't have children, you are a hero or a hero just by being the amazing creation that you are. Just by being, as we often say, weirdly and wonderfully wired. That's it. You are the hero and hero of your life and the lives of so many others. And there's so many silent achievements that you've made in this life. For those of you who are listening and passing through tonight, you have a lot to contribute. You have a lot that you have contributed, and you're moving now. You're moving with shakers and makers who are helping you to be able to do more. Just make sure you key in your vision board. You key in emotional wealth, develop strategies, scheduling, and
Uh-huh.
discipline, and you have that balance as a shiro and a hero. And then most of all, plan for some time. As Kenneth said, we all got to plan for time to take care of ourselves, our
Hmm.
emotional, spiritual self. If that we don't do that, it's a crapshoot.
Uh-huh.
It's a crapshoot, and then we won't be accountable for it. If we're not accountable for ourselves in that part and that much, then we won't be able to be accountable otherwise, right? So in partnering, well, what you guys say? Can we partner with local organizations to help us find the tailored support that we need? What are local organizations doing to help people find the kind of tailored support that they need to transition from survival mode to thriving mode? You know, People want to
Uh-huh.
thrive. They want to live well. They want to live, they want that wholeness. They want that balance, that joy. They want that the happiness, not the happiness feeling, but something that where they can at least happiness and joy outweighs the bad in their lives because they
Uh-huh.
have structured plan and discipline. Everybody's situation is different, and some
Uh-huh.
have more challenges than others. How can we partner with local organizations and open up their ears, you know, to helping the community thrive?
Well, if I can answer that, guys, if y'all don't mind,
You go
if
ahead,
we,
everybody, anybody.
yeah, I think y'all know that
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep it real and say what's on my
Yes.
mind.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have to show that we care. It has to visibly show that we
Uh-huh.
care. I'm glad that, and I always say this, I'm glad to see people like Kenneth. I'm glad to see people like my mom, Professor, and a few others that I know out here doing things for the community. I know people by name that are personally that are doing things in the community. So I'm not going to act like it doesn't exist, but I want to see people look like they care. because I'm not helping anyone who looks like they don't care. I'm going to try to
Exactly.
seek out those few people that will naturally cling to me because they want that resource because they see it's now available. But most funding is not available to certain bodies of people because usually the community attachment doesn't show up to be a part. It doesn't, usually I'll just say it's us. That's what I'm talking about. Let me stop trying to
Right,
talk
right,
around stuff.
right. Yeah,
Us,
go
we
ahead.
as
Go
Black
right ahead.
people, the
Tap it,
communities
tap
I
it.
see, there's a few communities, but generally speaking, no. Most communities I walk through, nobody cares.
Wow.
If we can figure out a
Wow.
way to make them care, then that's when
Oh
we
yeah.
can, start to shed light on that and start to see more involvement with the city, in your
Mm-hmm.
state,
Mm-hmm.
improving things. But when you don't see a group or body of people, it's not just Black people because it's not just us with mental health situations and issues. So that's not what I'm trying to say. But as far
Exactly.
as since we're talking about us, this is for us, by us,
Yeah.
we, for us, by us, we gotta make improvements within ourselves and our communities. Like we have to make people care. We gotta make people want these things because right now nobody wants too much of anything. I'm glad we do. I can see that we do. The
Exactly.
proof is in the pudding with that,
Exactly.
but we got to make people
Exactly.
care because we're talking about working with communities, and it's few of us that maybe us few can pull together and make things happen. But until we get on board with caring, mm-mm, it's gonna. But
Yeah.
we're facing a brick wall, and that's the reality. I don't want to act like we don't. We're just all accepting. It's a few of us. I'm glad that it's building. I'm glad that it's
Yeah.
open, but not enough of us. Not enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
I like what you said there, Trey, about that brick wall. A brick
Yeah,
it's
man.
good. It's good to have a brick wall because a brick wall can come down.
Mhm.
Like the wall of Jericho. We talk about strategies, a brick wall, anything. My grandfather used to say anything that has to do with an opening or an exit. He says you can create one. It'll look crazy to some, but it's an opening and an exit. He said either or both. So
But
here, to get people to change is for them first to listen. And what triggers them to listen is understanding. Simple, not basic. And once they understand,
I
and
knew you was
then,
gonna plug that in.
oh yeah, simple, not basic, because they're looking
Right.
they looking at you like you basic. They're
Yeah.
listening as though the information is basic. So that's why the narrative must change. So they will learn to accept and say, okay, what they're talking
Mm.
about, this is real time and it's more than useful. It's promising. So let's get to it. And the right people will want to do it because everybody, we ain't for everybody and everybody
Yeah.
they ain't gonna
Be
get
for
with it.
us.
They just not.
Yeah.
That's the end. That's
But
that's it. And
I
it could
think
be it
though,
could be us, our own people. The thing is, what triggers them to say yes?
I really think highlighting those since when we brought up the subject of, hold on, let me add this noise cancellation. um, but I'm bringing up highlighting, supporting, backing those people that take on any position to be superhuman, be supermen or superwomen. I feel like um, adding a little bit more support up under those few. You might have to take, somebody that used to live a certain lifestyle and no longer does those things, but happens to turn their life around. They might just be that person, the last person you look at, the last person you think is going to do anything for the community, but you might be the first person that turns around and has everybody following them. That might have the same like-minded, they might have the same mindset as other people that you think aren't going to amount to or want to change anything. So I think,
Exactly.
you know, yeah, let's keep it open.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And people will, just like you said, you'll be amazed at who will join the movement. You'll be amazed at the resources that they have to get it done. So, that's why, like you said, having an open mind does help people to change and thrive and move and become accountable and focused on the emotional wealth. And I believe, once we bring more awareness to our local organizations, that tailored support will happen. I just like to read a little something from Langston Hughes. It's a
Uh-huh.
classic, if I may, guys.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
What happens to a dream deferred? You know, it's the one called Harlem. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore, and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
Mm.
You know, I'm just saying that
Absolutely.
sounds like hope, because a dream is what? It shows you hope.
Uh-huh.
And like a raisin, there's a process with a raisin. It's a first of all, it's a grape. Then it's dried in the drying process, so it can become edible in another way, palatable in another way. People like grapes, people like raisins, but it's
Uh-huh.
what it's useful for.
Uh-huh.
It's what the effect and the cause and effect and the process of becoming a race from grape to raisin. So sometimes that's our lives as sheroes and heroes as people. Our lives turn from grapes to raisins or vice versa. Or both. We just become these we learn what hope really means to us. We learn to become hope and make changes. And technically we are hope. We are hope. And when stuff ain't happening the way it should be, then we have strategies to come in and change it. As small as numbered as we are and might be, those small numbers can be what? To the 10th can become the 10th power of anything, of any ratio of anything. And that's just what I believe. And because we can push the envelopes, people push the envelopes for so many other things. We could push the envelope for accountability and emotional wealth. So yeah, it looks like we are silent achievers in so many things. Kenneth, the JTI team, and our viewers and listeners. You guys, we love you for this. We support you in the things that you're doing to change the narrative of mental health and advocate. Kenneth, I know you got something to really to share with us on how you reached this point, your journey. Our journeys have been like we're still writing
Uh-huh.
pages, right? We're still writing
Uh-huh.
chapters. We're still adding on chapters to our story. We all have a story to tell, regardless. We have a story. Um, so with that transition from surviving to thriving, um, how did we in all of our journeys, how did we address emotional wellness from the time we started until now? Just think about that. How do we address our emotional wealth, our emotional wellness, should I say? It's the same thing, our emotional wellness. How do we address it from the crucial point until now?
Who would like to answer?
Oh, I'm
Mommy,
sorry.
possibly.
No, I thought the
Kenneth.
question was for Kenneth.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I'm
that's
sorry.
for
Uh,
whoever reaches all of
If
us.
it's for Kenny, if it's for Kenny, go ahead.
Kenny.
I'll go after
So I
him.
mean, it's basically from the same premise that you address your emotional wellness um from the beginning to the end by number one, it's about what you prioritize and what you make a priority. I teach the three fibers that you need, which is your mental fiber, your physical fiber, and your spiritual fiber. And so those are you address your emotional wealth spiritually, because if you're spiritual, that's going to help cultivate and create a foundation. And then two, you'll have a smooth plateau that now you can balance. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a spiritual life, you tap in spiritually, and then as you're tapping in spiritually, it just anything where God is in the midst of it, it 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 will help push you or navigate you on a serenity level, if you may, and you'll be able to process and be able to push and go forward.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The three fibers. Wow. Spiritual, emotional, and financial, Kenny?
Uh, uh, it's your
Physical. Yes,
mental,
physical.
your physical, mental, and spiritual.
Physical, mental, and spiritual. Oh my.
Hmm.
These are the live by family.
I would
The
say you
three
write it down.
fibers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, opulent one. What you
I know what you're
say?
doing. I know what you're doing. You write it down.
Yeah, no,
Yes, yes.
I already heard that
Keep
pin
taking
rolling.
notes.
I already knew what
That's
was.
all good thing.
I heard that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen. Every takeaway that is just
Mhm.
that points to good to good. I'll tell you, for just a better way to get through the day, the night, and the week. I'm taking
Mhm.
that. Listen, that we talking about thriving now, thriving and not surviving, because so
Mhm.
many things can come and distract you, and you just want to have the tools, the weapons of our warfare, to just say, listen, let me just fix this right quick. Let me just address this right quick and get stuff out of the way. Because sometimes you don't want it to pile up and become like emotional debris in your life. So now you got a
Hmm.
tool. You got three fibers: spiritual, mental, and physical. I'm just y'all heard my pen tapping.
Yep.
Right. I
Spiritual,
heard you.
spiritual, mental, and physical.
And physical.
I agree with
Wow.
that. I agree with
Yes,
that,
opulent
and
one.
I I think you really have to take responsibility for what you introduce into your life as much as possible. Who you introduce into your life, making hard decisions to who needs to go, who needs to stay, not make excuses for them or make excuses for certain situations. We do the best that we can to stir our lives in the direction we want them to go. And you will not always be able to put everything perfectly in line. I would love to be a millionaire. That would
Right.
be cool. But as far as um, and I really do mean this, what you introduce into your life and who you introduce into your life is a really
Very
good
true.
factor. I think that you should always surround yourself with good people. You should always surround yourself with positivity. You should always, have that relationship with God if you have a relationship, because I know
Hmm.
everybody's not, a believer.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that, hopefully as you grow older, you know what's important, you know what's not important, you learn what deserves your attention,
Hmm.
and basically know some things that you need to walk away from. As
Yeah,
hard as it is, you also will learn. Um, this is the hope, and this is what I discovered. You will hopefully you've learned who's your friend and who's not.
Very
exactly.
true.
People and certain things drag you down without you even knowing. Um, but you have to be really aware and have your eyes open to as much as you can as possible. And then, like I said, make that decision for yourself to eliminate some things, take stock of what's
Yeah.
going on. And I can honestly tell you, removing certain people out of my life and, not taking on everything has helped me tremendously. You know, you almost feel like a veil has been lifted off of you. You almost feel like a weight is off of your back. Um, if you take stock of your life, I'm pretty sure there are some things that we can all readjust to help our mental health. I really do. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
really, really do. And
yeah,
again, you can't control everything that transpires, but you can figure out how you can react to it and how you can process it as much as possible.
Yeah. The energy
You know
that
what
you
I'm
exactly.
give
saying?
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 that's your
yeah,
accountability, and that is that individual's responsibility. I really feel that
exactly.
from the bottom of my heart. You
Yeah,
Hmm.
know, and I'll say it one more time. There's some people in your life and some things that you know are not healthy for you. You know
exactly.
stress you out. You know
Biohazardous.
um, but that stress
Biohazardous.
you out,
Oh my God.
you have to let go. And it's not always easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's hurtful.
It is very hurtful. It really is.
But
Yeah.
I guarantee you will
Yeah.
feel 1,000% better. And then that way you can think clearly. And I think too, when you can think clearly, you open up your mind and your heart, you do get closer to God.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You can communicate with him. And I'm sorry to get out into, a venting or a
Go
tangent or
ahead.
something, but
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's okay,
I
mom.
think you get closer to God
Yeah. Yeah.
in a way that you have never gotten close to him before, because you can see it clearly.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
You can see
Yeah.
it better. You have to believe in something. And some people don't
Yeah.
even, believe in themselves, let
Yeah.
alone
Yeah.
believing in the Lord
And others.
and
Exactly.
others. You can be so
Exactly.
jaded and so hurt that you cut yourself off from anything, and you
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
hard, you become
Mhm.
cold, you become cold,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can become
Bitter.
distant,
Mhm.
bitter.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I guess in a nutshell, as I've been thinking about this a lot, take stock of things,
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
clean it
Exactly.
out, clean it up.
Yeah.
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 Then you
Yeah.
can
Understood.
focus on the things that you need to focus on, and you can thrive better.
Exactly.
You can
Yes.
Understood.
focus better. You can
Yes.
believe in yourself better. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Yes, that's our opulent one, the opulent one. Always, always, always deliver, always deliver, always bringing deliverance to us. Because when I say
Thank you.
deliverance, I'm talking about freedom. Some folk don't know what freedom really is. Freedom is the
Mhm.
ability to think and rise with and remove distractions and
Yeah.
replace those distractions with things that are good for them, that
Mhm.
things that change and make changes in all areas of their lives. So yes, family, this is
Yeah.
an amazing takeaway for you for the week, for the night, because sometimes people are wrestling with decisions in the night. They don't we don't know what tomorrow is going to be. However, you can get a glimpse of it. You can get a glimpse of hope before things explode in your life. As the poem said,
Mhm.
is your life sagging? Is it heavy, a heavy load, or does
Mhm.
it explode? We have many loads that we're carrying, responsibilities. However, we do have to be accountable. And once we get
Mm.
rid of those biohazardous things and people
Yeah.
with it,
Yes.
your life will flow. Your life will flow in the right direction, and it might become really sweet. Sometimes it may be
Mhm.
bittersweet, but you'll find some sweet spots in your life. You will find sweet spots because accountability has helped you to check those things that don't belong, and
Understood.
you'll get that tailored support that you need, because now you're thriving. You're not just surviving. You're not just surviving. Your life is in bits and pieces. You don't, maybe you just don't have enough support or even enough thoughts to what needs to be done in your life. Maybe just putting it off. Don't put it off.
Yeah.
Try your best not to put it off. Have conversations like we having at the Just Stop It show. Share your
Yeah.
suggestions online at our site at Just Stop It on Facebook, and we have our other platforms there. You can click on in YouTube and Instagram, and share how you transition from surviving to thriving. Share how you have become accountable in the community and how your community has become accountable also in addressing the Superman and super woman theory. How have they become accountable for us as people of color in particular? Still talking about Black history and changing.
Mhm.
Last week we talked about changing history, right? So
Yes.
these are some things that will help us to change history. And I want to know, are there any more programs aside from Kenny? Kenny, you're doing an amazing job. Just so you know, Breath of Life.
Mhm.
Breath of Life, you
I
guys
like
are
that.
doing an amazing job. Breath of Life, come as you are. Ministries Incorporated is doing an amazing work, and we would love for you to just share that more about that when in the upcoming shows. Resources and sources with our viewers, our listeners, because we need a lot. And however, little can become much with the little what mustard seed of action, because faith is an action. Once we use that mustard seed can germinate in like 2 days, 2 days tops, depending on how you process, how you plant it. So Kenny, we look forward to you sharing um your support, sharing how you are thriving, how you're helping others to thrive. And we thank you for the 3 fibers tonight. That's another means for thriving, family. um I'm gonna share that online too. So again, our communities, are there any more programs? How many more programs, or how many programs are there that's fostering thriving? How many programs do they really foster thriving, not just living to work or just for the moment, temporarily? You have some programs that's, you know help people temporarily, but are there any programs that help people to thrive effectively in have long-term effects for people? We would like to know those programs per state, um, because folks need these things per state. People are leaving their states, they're going to other states, so they want to be prepared. It's no need in, it's like going shopping. When you go and shop for stuff, you know what you're looking for, right? You know exactly
Yeah,
what you're looking for. So when you're going to another state to live, or you're migrating and of the sort, here, at least you would have that information. You would have programs and you would investigate those things before you move. Even if you're not moving and you're just traveling to that state, you're visiting, you want to know more about your community, more about your surroundings, because that's what makes you a superwoman and a superman, because you know and you use what you know,
that
right?
part.
And you have that support to get to it, get with it, and get through it, right?
That part.
So yeah, so let's find out what those programs are and the long-term effects, and share it among each other. That's another part of the keys
Yes.
to the answer. Sharing is caring. That's what I heard.
Hmm.
Sharing is caring, and and also, with those initiatives, with those programs, choose programs that will not sabotage your life. Choose programs that will not sabotage your community, because sometimes it happens, but dig deep, do deep dives into that information, and share it among your community, and keep shining and sharing and burning like the sun, right? And we just love you, and we just want to give some shout out tonight, right, folks?
Of course, of course. We always got some shout outs. First person I want to shout out is my grandmother. She's upstairs. She's gonna watch this after that. After the show.
Yes, big
Usually I'll be
sister,
sending
shout
it to
out to
her.
you. Much
Yeah, I
love.
wanted to
Much
also
love.
shout out to DJ Slicky Boo Boo for staying in the chat for as long as he did. Tuning in, watching
Exactly.
us, listening to us. My friend Christian, of
Absolutely.
course, for chiming in and just stopping by like we always ask you to do. But those are my
Yes,
two people
thank
that I
you.
wanted to shout out real quick.
Thank you. I want to shout out to Joy, who's always with us on a regular. Ari, Joey, Tiara, my nieces, Asia Lee, the leader's leader.
Can't forget
Oh
about
my
her.
God. Exactly. Oh my God. There is so many other people.
Myra's
Yeah,
Monarch is
actually,
one of the
yes.
super women. The
Yes.
poet has spoken was one of the super men that I had
Superman.
his name pop up on the screen, both of y'all.
Yes.
So shout out to y'all for
Exactly.
joining. Mr. Victor, Miss
Exactly.
Alva,
Yes. More
Chef Alva. I
heroes and
always say
sheroes.
Miss. I meant to say
Yes.
Chef Alva. I'll never forget that title. I apologize for
That's
that
all
part.
right.
But
That's
yes.
all right. She's one of
Yes.
my shero chefs. She's one of my
Yep.
sheroes. Yeah, Chef Alva, and yeah, and those are, and also Queen Latoya. Yes, another
That part.
shero of ours, Latoya, my neighbor, amazing woman and her family. More sheros and heroes there, and yeah, Amber. Shout out to Amber, another hero of mine, and her son Mark, another hero of mine. Those guys, those people really fought hard to locate my son when he was missing, and they are definitely the super and
Shout out
supermen
to
and
them.
super women of this decade. They are amazing people, and if it wasn't for them starting how they just were there and they're still there. We love you like no other, as God does, and everybody who is with us from the gate, and those who are joining in this journey to advocate good mental health. So here we are. We'll be back for the pit stop. Tell us about it, Trey.
Before we
Of course,
go,
of
before
course.
we go,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
before we
mommy. Go
start,
ahead.
I want to give a shout out to you, Trayvon. I want everybody to wish Trayvon a happy 30th birthday. 30
Exactly.
Thank you.
on
February 20th.
Yay!
Thank you.
We
I
gonna
made it to 30.
celebrate. We celebrate. You made it to 30.
30
Exactly.
years
Yeah.
old, my first child, my
Oh.
only son.
Oh, wow.
That I gave birth to 30 years ago, 2 days from now.
Yes,
So
you were there.
Thank you so much. I was there. I was
Yes.
present. So I want everyone to wish her free, because by the time we come back again, I'm not sure.
Because it's on Tuesday, so
It's on
you know,
Tuesday. Yes.
we'll
So
still
this is
recap
a
on a
pre.
Wednesday.
So
This the pre-party.
I want to do it now.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, mommy. I appreciate y'all.
Yes,
Very
we love
welcome.
you, Trey.
Very welcome.
We
I
love you so
appreciate
much, and we're glad that Mom was there and Dad was there. To all right,
Hey,
all right,
Rico.
all
Rico,
right.
thank you, Rico, for stopping
Rico.
by. That's one of the people that I told you about,
Absolutely.
Professor, that I would love for him to just one of these days join the panel and see what we talking about. You stepping in and just saying happy birthday right towards the end. That's enough for me. So that makes me happy.
Absolutely, that
But this
is
is
so
just
cool.
stop
Thank you,
it.
Rico.
This is our platform. This is Professor Williams. You already know, Kenny. You already know that's our speed right there. But that's my mom, and you know. This is what I'm doing right
Absolutely.
now. So I
Peace,
appreciate you
peace.
for stopping by. Thank you so much
Yes,
for the
thank
birthday
you.
wish.
Absolutely.
You got
Right.
anybody you want to shout out, Kenny? Or no, you okay? You got anybody you want to shout out, Kenny?
I just want to shout out all the movers and shakers making a difference. Keep putting your best foot forward, and we all we got, we all we need.
We all we got, we all we
love that. We
need.
all we got,
That's
we
what I'm
all
liking.
we need. Yes,
That's what I'm liking.
absolutely. That
Okay.
part. That is it. Listen. Oh my God. Yes, Trey, the birthday guy.
Thank
Tell
you,
us
y'all.
about the pit stop. We got the rest of this month. We're gonna keep celebrating.
Oh yeah, well the pit stop is my idea of just as it sounds, the pit stop is a quick interaction, just like you watch a NASCAR show. The pit stop, they're in there quick, probably 30 seconds no more. So same idea. If you're in here for 2 or 3 minutes and you just stop by, you want to hear what we got going on, you just want to say hello before you leave, it's not a problem. It's an open invitation for somebody to catch our vibes and figure out what's going on with us, hear what we're saying, hear what we're talking about. But one thing that I must do
Exactly.
before we go, is put a disclaimer. We got to throw it in there a few times just to let y'all know that we're mental health advocates. We don't want anybody trying to say that our advice led them astray in a way that we wouldn't want them to walk in. So just as a friendly disclaimer, the information in this video is not intended nor implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. All content is to be considered as such. We are mental health advocates that are here for you. So yes.
Absolutely. Yes. So we are out as we celebrate. It's your birthday. Celebrate like never before.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you.
Celebrate, party, and
That part I
enjoy.
will do. That part I will do.
Sing. I really want.
Now say happy
Birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, y'all. Y'all so dry.
The Stevie Wonder version.
Thank you, y'all. I do appreciate it, though.
Oh God.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
that was, I tell you, we love y'all. We love each other. We love you so much.
Thank you.
Peace,
Thank you
love,
so much.
and joy, family.
Of
Until
course.
then, this is Just Stop It. And please be mindful. Bring it to the ears of the community, our community leaders, to just stop it, be aware, and change and advocate for more mental health support. Peace. All right.
Bye,
y'all. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, mommy. Thank you for the birthday wish, mommy. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you too.
All right, y'all. Good night.